Transition Radio TV brought to you by thebreastformstore.com. They have everything you could possibly need for your cross-dressing and transgender needs. Visit their website at www.thebreastformstore.com and tell them Transition Radio sent you.
Ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. A 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio with your host, Mark Angelo Cummings. Well, good evening and welcome to Transition Radio TV, live from the land of enchantment, Silver City, New Mexico. Hey guys, I want to say thank you so much for all the support and for tuning in week after week. I want you to please visit our website and support our affiliates and our advertisers as well as our sponsors and of course, Transition Radio. And you support Transition Radio by clicking on the donate button. I want to welcome queersworld.com as one of our new affiliates who are an LGBT business networking environment, providing a venue to develop and expand your trusted network of businesses professionals. By joining their site, you gain access to career advancement tools, a directory of LGBT-friendly businesses and destinations, the ability to showcase your business, your product of services, list your jobs, and post your resumes. By supporting the LGBT community, we support you. United, we make positive local and global changes. Well, tonight, folks, we have NOLAN RHODERICK, who is a 19-year-old and identifies as a gay female to male transsexual. NOLAN is pre-operation and pre-testosterone. He states, "It has been a little over a year since I've come out about it. I have known I was different since the age of 6. And found out about people being transgender around the age of 13. While reading up on it, I found out there wasn't something wrong with me. I was just transgender. I have trouble with gender dysphoria and depression, but my fiance helps me work through it and cheers me up. My fiance's mom, however, is afraid that I will turn her son gay, but she doesn't know he's bi. When I came out, my dad said it was a phase, and my mom, although she says she doesn't care, still uses female pronouns, even when I've asked for her to use male pronouns."
Hello, my name is Nolan. But my actual birth name is JC. I was born a girl, and I'm still technically I see myself, every single part of me, as a boy. But if you go off of standard, which I hate standards, I'm still all female. So, today I'm going to tell you about what I've gone through so far, how family friends have reacted, how long I've felt like this, and how long it took me before I came out to people. First off, I guess we'll start when I was little. It sounds like I'm at a therapy session where I'm like, first off, I'm gonna tell you about when I was a kid. But no, um, I remember being a kid, and we lived in the middle of nowhere. Like, we lived literally in the woods. Like, you'd have to drive a little bit to get to our house, and we were the only house around. Um, so we would drive, and when I was little, I mean, of course, all the kids do it, but when you're little, you don't run around with a shirt on because you're a kid and nobody cares. Simple enough. So that's what I did. I would run around outside and I wouldn't have a shirt on, and I would play outside and be a normal kid. When puberty started hitting, that's when it kind of went a little wonky for me. I was probably, I don't know, maybe third or fourth grade when I started getting breasts. And my mom, she wanted me to start wearing bras. And I went over to my grandma's house one day and I asked her, and I said, "Grandma, does it look like I'm getting boobs?" I mean, my grandma, let me put it this way, my grandma was basically my mom. Because my mom and dad were really never around that much because they were both working, so I was raised by my grandma. So in this situation, my grandma is my mom, and I would talk to her about anything. And she goes, "No, you're still young. Your mom's just being precautious for, next year in case you start getting breasts." So I was like, okay. So I would still run around outside, but you could tell I was starting to get breast tissue. I never liked wearing dresses. You can even ask my mom that whenever I was a little girl, whenever I was like 3 or 4, she would try.
Hey, Nolan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nice little video there. It always tends to amuse me that we as a society tend to want to place objects as gender specific, like dresses. I mean, I know that back in ancient time, before any of us could even think of being considered being born, men used to wear robes. I mean, according to what I've seen in the movies, Jesus Christ spotted some like really nice robes with sandals and stuff. And the Egyptians kind of painted their faces and used makeup. So, I think it's one of those things that they've tried to push us all into boxes and say, okay, pink is for girls, blue is for boys,
Yeah.
And I think we need a break from that because I think people just need to be people. We need to self-express. If you're a little girl and you want to be all rough and tough and play with cars and be without a shirt, then you should be able to,
Yeah.
I'm sure you agree with that.
Yeah, well, originally, pink and blue used to be gender swapped, where pink was for boys and then blue was for girls. But I think sometime like in the early, like 1930s or 40s, it gender swapped, and it's always been that way ever since.
I think they were trying to confuse us. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But then we're taking vengeance and we're trying to confuse them now. So let me ask you, Nolan, what was your deciding factor that made you absolutely sure, without a doubt, that you were trans?
Well, I'd probably say whenever I was in high school and I was in choir, I always wanted to sing like over in the tenor section because I felt more comfortable there. I mean, even though my voice isn't, anywhere near being low, I just always felt comfortable being around the guys, and I felt awkward and out of place when I was singing in the female section. And even, I wanted the male leads in musicals and theater, but it just, they always stuck me in the female section, and it just didn't feel right to me.
And I wonder why that is. I mean, are you an only child? Did you get more socialized with male friends than you did female friends? Or is just something innate in you that you just felt like you feel more comfortable around guys than you do girls?
Well, for 18 years of my life, I was an only child, and I have a little brother now who's going to be 2 this December. But we were both my fiance and myself and my mom, we were thinking about it, but as I was growing up, my dad never really wanted a girl. He wanted a boy. So I think it's more along like the psychological level, part of it at least, is from what my dad influenced on me of not wanting me personally, because he just, just say whatever and go on and do his business. And, just never wanted a girl.
Funny you should mention that because I was the first child, and my father also wanted a boy. And when I transitioned and came out, he was like, "Well, he was more accepting than my mother." He said, "Well, I did want a boy, so I guess I kind of got my wish, just a little delayed." And you mentioned earlier that your grandmother was just like your mother, and that was in my same case. But my mom's alive and well. My grandfather died, so my mom kind of gave the responsibility to my grandmother to raise me and take care of me, so she could take her head or mind off the grievance process. So there are a lot of things in common there. And I didn't have my first sibling till I was 8 years old, but they really waited with you. 18 years, that's a long
Yeah.
time. But yeah,
Well,
that's
my dad and mom actually got divorced when I was in fifth grade, so he's actually my half brother. But I don't see him that way. He's my brother.
definitely your brother. So not only do you get bullied by the outside of the community, but also those in the community. Can you tell us what your experience has been and how does it make you feel, especially when your own trans brothers bully you because you're not on hormones? And I mean, I think one of our conversation was they've actually called you cis scum.
Yep. I was looking, trying to find other people who are like me, because I don't know anyone else that's transgender, and I just feel lost. So I was trying to reach out to other trans brothers, and they're like, at first they were accepting. They're like, oh yeah, we'll help you, find binders and find good specialists for you for top surgery and hormones. And I'm like, I right now I just want a chest binder. I don't want any hormones or surgery, and I probably never will. I may or may not. And then they kind of turned on me because I didn't want to go through all the whole process, and they were saying, well, you're just lying and you're cis scum, and it just really got me down for quite a bit.
That's really hurtful that our own community attacks those individuals in the community. And what people don't seem to understand, there is no such thing as not being trans enough. Trans is a different thing to every single person. And they, out of anybody, should know this, that it's not fun to be bullied. What has anybody actually been physical, trying to harm you, or it's just been verbal type of things? And what kind of situations have you been faced with?
Luckily, it's never been physical, but whenever I worked at one of my jobs, I asked them if I could change my name tag. And originally, they're like, "Yeah, you can change your name tag to Nolan instead of your birth name." And I wore that around for a little bit, and then one of the managers came up to me one day and said, "No, you have to change it. You have to be your gender. You can't wear your vest or you can't wear your ties anymore. You have to wear straight feminine clothing." And I even tried to argue with him, saying that it's in the rule book that it's not gender discrimination at this job. And I almost lost my job over it, so I had to switch back, and it really hurt.
It's crazy because there are certain guidelines. I mean, I'm not quite sure where you live at, but there are if he has to be open to that kind of situation where what if you're living your true life experience and you need to live as Nolan and be Nolan for a year or whatever it is your therapist decides for you. So he's definitely breaking some sort of laws, and that's just totally wrong. What other kind of bullying experiences have you had with trans brothers and sisters, if you don't mind sharing?
Um, the main one is just probably the cis scum, and then there's been others where they have actually, because I never knew like what to call different parts, and so I put it on Tumblr, which I know is a very bad place to, and it's very sensitive, but I put it on Tumblr. I asked, what happens if a transgender man who still has all of their female parts wants to marry a cis man? I said, would that be considered gay? Would it be straight? And I got so much hate for talking about how my gender parts, which haven't been fixed, as female parts instead of calling them male parts because I was transgender.
I it totally blows my mind because I too have experienced a lot of hate from the community because I think differently. I think that this is definitely not a curse, it's a gift, and everyone is in a different spectrum within that transgender umbrella. And it's all this infighting that constantly takes place, which definitely should not ever have to take place. I mean, you're entitled to identify as you wish. If you don't want surgery, if you don't want to have hormones, that's your prerogative. There's no one specific way or a model to being trans, and that's a pretty sad thing. You have a very supportive fiance. How did he react when you told him you were trans?
I was actually really nervous to tell him because we have already been dating a year, and I felt bad for, telling him after dating a year. But I just, I sucked it up and I went and told him, and I said, hey, I'm transgender. And he looked at me and he actually smiled and he goes, well, that's great. I'm bi. It's the best of both worlds now.
There you go. And is he around that you could have him holler real quick and say hello to the
Um,
viewers?
he's in the other room if you
He's
give me
hiding.
like 10,
Okay.
10 seconds to get up and go get him.
Okay, not a problem.
All right, I'll be right back.
I think it's important that people see that there are loving, supportive individuals in our lives. And I say shame on the community for actually picking on someone who, it's just like recently I read there was somebody who took their life, transgender, very young as well. I think it was 18 or 17. And, it's not nice to do to push somebody into bullying and committing suicide or doing something. I hate to put you on the spot there, but I wanted to meet the fiance and wanted the actual viewers to meet you. So there he is. There you go.
Say
Hi.
hi. He was
So-
playing a game, so he's not
He is-
very happy at the moment.
It's okay. So are you proud of your fiance that's trans? You think that's pretty cool?
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good. You're a man of few words, I see. I just wanted everyone to meet you, and thank you so much for being supportive and being there for Nolan. That especially in situations where he doesn't have a lot of support, and I think that's rotten. That his own community turns him down, and one of the goals is to educate people, not just regular society, but our own community needs more education than anybody else. So thank you so much. Your name again was? You never told us.
Sam.
Sam, pleasure meeting you, Sam. Thank you so much for go resume your game playing.
Nice meeting you too.
Thank you. You're both very lucky to have each other. So we want to put a little clip here of video that you shared with me, and I want to share with the viewers, and it's entitled "My Fiance."
Yep.
With a kiss think of the future. Many kids don't need the masters. Just waiting for the little process. Oh yeah. With a kiss think of the future. Many kids don't.
Awesome. There are a lot of people, and people don't realize that a lot of trans guys that choose not to go all the way or choose not to even do anything, just identify as genderqueer and trans, get bullied. And more people are committing suicide. I don't know if you, and I was saying that when you went to get your fiance, Sam, that recently there was a young, I think it was 18 years old, that committed suicide. He was trans. I posted it on my Facebook wall. And we're seeing more and more of this. And it's a lot of times it's not people outside of the community, but actually people in the community. I think it was last week I played a song that I wrote for a trans female who also killed herself because she was bullied by many of the trans sisters who didn't see her as transgender. They saw her as a cross-dresser. I mean, they were just picking on her, calling her names, so much so that she ended up taking her own lives. And that's something that we need to put a stop to that fiercely because it's just not right.
Most definitely, because there's been times where I've been depressed because I feel like there's sometimes I feel like I need to do the hormones, I need to get top surgery, all this stuff, because then I'll feel accepted. But there's also times where I've watched stuff that you've done where you said you gotta love yourself, and I even though I haven't done anything, I still see myself 100% male, and I love myself every moment for it.
And that is the best thing to do. And that's why I create those videos that I do. And that's why every end of every show, it's important for people to love themselves. And, not everyone has to have surgery. Not everyone has to take hormones. I did what I did back in the day. It was almost like a power of suggestion. And do I regret it? No, but it doesn't define me. And that's one thing that I had to learn through the years. And if I could save somebody that hassle, that money and the pain, and then realize, hey, I'm okay the way that I am, then that is one of the main messages and mission that I tend to do. And I'm very proud of you, Nolan, for sticking up for you and being happy, because you know what? That is the only thing. Love and being happy, it's a beautiful thing. So I'm definitely very proud of you. And you know that I'm here for you, buddy.
Yep.
Email, like we've been going back and forth, and you're also very talented, and you like Steam Power Giraffe. You're a fan. There's a lot of fans. I get a lot of emails from that episode. What did you think when Bunny actually decided to come out and transition?
Well, when I found the band, I originally liked them because of their theatrical background, history, because with me being a theater nerd, I just got attached, and then I also got attached because, the band members were good looking, and then whenever I found out that Bunny was transgender, I thought, man, he's a really good looking man, but I bet he'll make even a beautiful woman.
That's amazing, yeah. She's awesome, and all the members in the band are really, really talented. And they took an idea and they really spun it, and they've done really great. You sent me a little video here, or actually, you didn't send me. I found this one on your YouTube channel, and I wanted to share it because I wanted people to see your passion. So here's the little clip there.
Every heart needs a beat. Every song could use a verse. If you wanna stand up, then your skeleton is gonna need a sign. He's charming,
Well, hello there,
debonair,
and pleased to meet you.
daring and dashing, and just when you need him, he's there.
If transportation permits.
He's got your back
Well,
when
sure.
you pick fights with bears.
I would not advise that.
He'll punch a ferocious beast.
No,
That's how much he cares.
I don't care that much.
The swine. Go, swine, go, put on a show, do what you do best. Go, swine, go, put on a show, you always know best. Need help with diction?
Indefatigable.
Or home repair?
Try the plunger first.
Sewing or weaving, he'll do your taxes on a double dare.
And quadruple your returns.
Suffering from diarrhea?
Hydration is
Well,
key.
he's been there.
No, Rabbit, robots cannot get diarrhea.
About 3 times a day.
That's not true,
He
folks.
sympathizes with your affair.
It's impossible for me to have diarrhea.
impossible for robots to get diarrhea. That's gotta be the funniest line. Guys, at any time you want to call in with your question, the number's right on the screen there, 412-567-6788. If you have any questions for Nolan, for Joe, for me, for anyone, please call in. Or if you have a comment, concern, anything, call in at any time. So, besides impersonating, what other passions do you have? Do you play an instrument? Because I find transgender people are extremely talented.
Well, whenever I was in high school, I was able to play, I think, 13 different instruments at various levels of difficulty.
13 different instruments. Wow. And out of all 13, which one do you still play now and which one do you love to play?
I still have my flute because that was really the only original one that I have. I started out playing oboe, and then my middle school teacher at the time said we can't teach you anymore because they didn't have an oboe player. They were just going off books. So they had me switch to flute, and I've stuck with that, and I've gone between trumpet, tuba, bassoon, all these different things. And my favorite one has to be French horn to play, but I still have my flute.
And as far as future plans, besides getting married to your fiance, is there a particular love that you have that you want to do? Be a teacher? I don't know. What does Nolan see for Nolan's future?
Well, right now I've actually gotten a job working at a radio station. I'm going to be filming live football, like football and basketball high school games. And then once that season's over with, they're actually going to put me on the radio as talk show hosts. But I hope one day that I'll actually be able to do sound engineering and telecommunications, which is basically when you watch the news, it's the person that's behind the camera and does all the cueing and everything.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit about your family as well as your fiance's family. How have they reacted and are they supportive?
My dad, he really was like, it took me a while for me to tell him. My mom was actually the first one I told, way before I told my fiance. But my dad, he's kind of okay with it. I mean, we really don't talk about it. Same with my stepmom, we don't really talk about it. My mom, she'll sometimes buy me guy clothes and all that stuff, but she still calls me female. But the worst has to be my fiance's side of the family. She's really religious, and she's always, asking me questions like, well, maybe you're just confused. Maybe you're just going through this spell where you want to be a guy. And if you do that, my fiance or my son better watch out because you might turn him gay. And I'm like, trying to clench my teeth to not tell her that, he's actually bi because I'm waiting for him to tell her.
This is crazy how parents always try to blame everyone else. You're going to turn my son or my daughter into this and whatever. People don't turn into anything. People are who they are. And if they could just put religion to one side and just love, I mean, her son loves you, you love her son. That should be all that matters, not labels, gay, bi, straight, candy cane, whatever it is, it's like, what a world we live in.
It should be, as long as I'm not doing something stupid or illegal, just be happy that, your son found someone that he deeply loves and that's someone who loves him back just as much, if not more.
Exactly. And, hopefully they'll get it. I mean, I always have hope that parents do come around. I know my mom came around. She still, every now and then, misses the pronouns. It used to bother me like no one before. Now I don't care. Sometimes I even consider myself in the female pronoun when I'm talking to her because I know that makes her feel comfortable. So I'm okay with it now. You evolve through the years. It doesn't bug you as much anymore. So let me ask you, what does being trans mean to you? And if you can give an advice to those that are embarking on this journey, what advice would that be?
Trans to me is just being who you feel comfortable being with. Whether that be, either male to female or female to male or somewhere in between, it's still transgender. And for people who are like me, who are wanting to transition but not want to do any hormones or surgery, you're still transgender, and that's the way that you see yourself. That's who you're going to be. That's the greatest advice I can give anyone.
Right, and they're all just labels, It's
Yeah.
like people are people, we should know and learn how to respect one another, love one another, and not worry about fitting into boxes. I mean, we're going to die and get placed in one, so why be in a hurry to live in a box all through our lives? I mean, it's a crazy thing. What, if you could have a perfect scenario, a perfect situation in your life, what would that be for you?
Well, it would be me not having to do any surgeries or anything like that. Just one day wake up and have this like marvelous beard and this like tenor bass voice. But in reality, it would just, me living happy just the way I am and growing up and someday having kids with the guy I love and have them grow up and see that, everyone's different and you should create them equal, or they were created equal, so you should accept them as who they are.
And that's exactly it. I mean, we're too concerned with how we look, how things are supposed to be, and people are missing the boat. And they don't realize that all these material things and all these things that we do to find happiness really does not give us happiness. The true happiness comes within our heart by accepting and loving ourselves and having that special someone by your side that you could ride that carpet ride with and of life and be happy. A lot of young transgender individuals are just, they have tunnel vision and they're like putting their life literally on hold and not living because they're waiting, okay, until I get my surgery, until I do this and that, I can't live, I'm unhappy. And I get all sorts of like, well, you don't understand because you're there, you've done it. And it's like, the more I understand because I'm here and I've done it. So, and I look back and life just doesn't become all of a sudden wonderful and beautiful just because you put some hormones and you remove your breast. And no, it doesn't. The problems are still there. As a matter of fact, you might have new problems and somehow people still manage to be miserable.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could get everything done and fixed and completed, and your problems could change from, oh, it's a girl trying to be a guy, to becoming this thing that people like to call it, which
Exactly.
just irks me so much hearing that word, just that word it all the time.
People can be cruel, but what we have to do, I mean, and one of the things I like to do is just send them love, forgive them, and realize that they're hurting because the majority of people that are mean, they're hurting. The bullies are hurting.
Yep.
And they don't know other way but to be mean and bully, and deep down inside, they need love. So I just kind of sprinkle a little magic love dust on them and send them on their way and say, bless you.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to add, Nolan? Anything you want to tell the community, to all those people that have been mean to you, that have called you cis scum? What would you like to tell them?
I'd just like to tell them, you try and protect yourselves with people calling you, bad names for being transgender. Be it, you call people cis scum even though they're trying to reach out to you because they're transgender but confused on what to do or how to say things. You just help them out because that's where I am right now. I've only been out for a year and there's so many terms out there that I don't know what to use, and just take our time with us and love every moment because you're teaching someone about something.
Exactly. And just and love, and more love. Well, thank you so much, Nolan. I wish you the best in whatever it is that you decide to do, your wedding and future kids. I mean, it's exciting, and you're 19, your life is ahead of you, and I'm very proud of you again. And remember, you could always
Thank
count
you.
on me. You know my email. I even gave you my number, so anytime, feel free.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Take care, buddy. Well, we're going to take a quick break to announce the other sponsor, Dr. Martin Osia, and we'll be right back with Ask a Trans Man, the transition video of the week, and my new acoustic cafe segment. So stay tuned. Dr. Vartan Madirosian is a facial feminization surgeon in Jupiter, Florida. He did a fellowship in facial plastic and reconstructive surgery with one of the fathers of facial feminization surgery. He has also completed an extensive training in FFS for the past 6 years, working in close contact with his mentor. Dr. Maderosian performs surgeries in his office in a fully licensed operating room or in the local hospital with highly trained and reliable staff. Give him a call today at 561-624-0900. That's 561-624-0900. Dr. Maderosian is highly qualified and understands our needs.
Gay Life Television is quality broadcasting for the LGBTQ community. With such hosts as David Teen, Davio Flavio, Joe Cranach, and David Stan, we bring you a variety of different live shows each and every week. Find us at gaylifetelevision.com, on your Roku box, or on the Nerox app on your smartphone.
Finding out you're HIV positive can be scary. Was for me. I was terrified. But then I realized that it's not the end for me, and it certainly isn't for you. My name is Robbie Aldred, and watch my show Positive Outlook, where we learn why it's no longer called surviving with HIV, but thriving with HIV.
That is such a sensual song, my God. Anyway, guys, welcome back. Ask a Trans Man. Well, got an email. It stated, Dear Mark, I have a big concern for my health with the long-term use of testosterone. I know you've touched this on other radio shows, or this topic particularly, but can you give me some professional opinion regarding this matter? It seems most are not even worried or concerned regarding this issue and are only seeing the results they're getting without worrying about the possible risk involved. I'm on the fence on this and don't know what to do. Please help. Darian. Okay, Darian, this is one of those things where there's not enough research out there, and we're pretty much guinea pigs. I know I've been on testosterone. It's going on 12 years. I've actually stopped twice, and I'm kind of lowering my doses even more now because of the fear that anything that's synthetic and your body doesn't recognize as natural can turn into a lot of different things, from cancer to neurological problems, your liver. I recommend taking milk thistle, because again, being on this stuff for a long time can create a lot of problems for you. I don't see a lot of research out there, and I believe it's because they really want to push these hormones on people because it's profit. I mean, it's like being on hormone for the rest of your life. That's mortgage payment right there. Every month paying in. And I understand it's one of those things, a double-edged sword, and one of those necessary evil, especially for us transgender individuals, that we want to change our physique. But I think once you get to where you need to get, and you've had a hysterectomy if you're an FTM, and if you're an MTF, you've had your orchiectomy and have removed the production of testes, I think you could really lower your dose, and I think eventually cease taking them or cycle to give your body a little bit of the break. So I understand you being on the fence. That is something that is very, very concerning. A lot of people have gotten cancer, ovarian cancer, brain tumors, heart attacks. They've died in their sleep, and a lot of stuff that we probably don't hear out there because there are people that don't want you to know these things. But good question, and please take care of your health. Always get blood work. Make sure you eat right, not drink too much alcohol because that affects your liver, and then you're doing something that's affecting your liver already. And just be mindful and listen to your body. That's the key. Thank you for writing, Nolan. And again, anyone with questions, concern, write me to transitionradioshow@gmail.com. I look forward to answering your question on the show. Are we meant to transcend? Changing everything that we don't understand, losing it all, fighting the walls, killing ourselves to bring forth a feeling we can't control. Is this the way? Are we on the right path? It seems like such a struggle. Is it worth, I ask? After all these years, I see what I've done. There are no regrets. I feel so very blessed. But I think that this journey is not about changing our past. This is a spiritual path, not a physical wrath. I hope I'm making sense for once at last. And now for the transition video of the week with Teresa N. please send me your video to transitionradioshow@gmail.com. And I want to say that there is no cookie cutter routine on being trans. That once you transition, life just doesn't automatically become hunky dory. There's still struggles, there's still a lot of issues. And in the beginning, everything is very new. It's like a brand new toy. We've got tunnel vision, we focus on this thing, and then, years pass by, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's nice that I'm getting to live as I see fit, but life goes on and things continue to happen. And it's not just all about glamour and glitz and hormones and surgeries. And please don't be mean to your brothers and sisters who may not want to have surgery, may not want to take hormones, but don't fit in the binary system. So if they want to identify as trans, that is their right. It is, as it is your right to do what you see fit. The song that I'm going to perform was written by Jess and I when we had the group Transcend, and the song is called Hurt, which I found very appropriate for today's show since Nolan has been hurt by our own community. So again, it's called Hurt, and here we go. Before I start this, I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank the advertiser, the affiliates. I want to thank you, the viewers. I want to thank David, William, Joe, everyone from Gay Life TV, and thanking the higher power for giving us health and being alive. So here we go, Hurt. And I love you, but remember to love yourselves too. Brother, why can't you see? You're no different than me. Sister, why must you laugh? We come from the same path. There are those that will hurt us. There are those that won't believe. Oh, they will when they talk bad about us. Oh, we all tend to bleed. Dying slowly, can't you see? Dying slowly, can't you see? Take a look deep inside you. Do you mean what you say? Were you once hurt or angered by the choices I made? By the choices we made. There are those that will hurt us. There are those that won't believe when they talk bad about us. Oh, we all tend to bleed. Dying slowly, can't you see? Dying slowly, slowly, can't you see? We all dream to be happy. We all need to be loved. No one wants to be beaten, ridiculed, or denounced. Please find love and acceptance, and let the said she